Hey everybody, this is Denny.
And this is James from TeaDB. So we couldn't get enough of raw pu'erh, so we are back for some more. So this is a tea from Scott over at Yunnan Sourcing.
Cool.
This is a 2014 autumn, so it's pretty fresh. Daqing Gushu. It is the end of my sample, so we might get a little bit more sediment than normal. It's also a little bit low in leaf, so I'm going to try to adjust my brewing parameters accordingly.
And one tip that actually James made sure to observe when we were hanging out with Scott.
And I'll try to demonstrate it here for you guys.
Well, that's that. There's the high pour,
yeah,
which is great because it's going to cool down the overall heat. And there's also just if you're at the tail end of a bag, what you can do is take out the bigger chunks, hold them in your hand, drop in the sediment, then put the chunks in, and it will kind of act as an impromptu barrier. It's not going to be perfect.
Yep.
If you're not going to use a screen, like we typically don't on the show anymore, then you're going to get some sediment. No big deal. And then, of course, we're going to adjust the brewing parameters as a result of having the more fine leaves and particulate. So, which means that we're going to use maybe a little bit less leaf, maybe a little bit shorter brewing times, and the overall longevity of the cup won't be quite there. But it's a great way. Never mind. It smells really good. It's a great way to finish out a bag. This is delicious smelling.
Yeah, this tea smells great. Autumn tea, the leaves look really good too. I don't know, we are at the end of the bag, so the leaves might look a little bit more disheveled than normal. But we're just going to give one rinse. I think one rinse is totally fine for a pu'erh like this.
Fantastic. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. It's nice. It's so refreshing for me to be drinking young raw and think light. You know, for me it's such like just an intense, bold, kicking you in the face down a flight of stairs kind of an experience. And this is light. You know.
Yeah, it starts out light for sure. And this region, it's from Jingu, which is kind of known for having a little bit of a softer taste, not quite as aggressive. Autumn is also going to probably reduce some of that potency that you would otherwise encounter. So both those things help to make this tea very drinkable and very not kind of bitter and harsh for like a young raw pu'erh.
Yeah, it's really tasty. You folks will be noticing, hopefully, James's high pour. That's just to conserve, to spend some extra thermal heat in order to, thermal heat.
You have been listening to Bill Nye the Science
I've been
Guy.
listening too much both Nye and I've been a little bit redundant. But anyway, let's drink this tea. Enough babble. Cheers. I think the texture and mouthfeel is light. There's no sense. Maybe just like I'm getting it now, just like a little hint of astringency, but not much. It is a very light taste, but now we're getting into those classic pu'erh flavors, more petroleum, more earthy minerals. I'm enjoying this. This is great.
And I find that this tea has, like we talk about it being weaker and stuff like that, but it also does have strong staying power in the mouth and in the throat as well. I get good Huigan returning sweetness from this tea.
I think it has a really nice and apparent front sweetness to it.
Definitely.
As well. I mean, I think just in the mouth, right off of the first sip, it's really pleasant. This is a very approachable raw pu'erh, especially for its age.
Yeah, and this tea, vendors these days have sort of moved towards the trend of pressing these really small 200-gram cakes, 250-gram cakes. So this is actually a big, old-fashioned, jumbo-sized 400-gram cake.
Nice.
So it's actually deceptively cheaper than it actually is. It's I think it sells currently for $65.
Which is a ton of tea for $65.
Yeah, I mean, like, you compare that to Taiwanese oolongs and stuff like that,
Right.
and you would get, like, a decent quality high mountain tea for that.
Right.
But I think this tea is very good, considering that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
That texture and boldness is really starting to show up now.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I'd say it starts kind of pretty strong, thins out a little bit, and then you feel a little bit that strength as you swallow and like the throat.
Yeah. This is great. This is great. I'm not my flavor to thought mechanism is not strong today for some reason. I'm not trying to place this necessarily, but I'm enjoying it.
Good, because I'm getting hot dog buns. No, I'm not.
I could see hot dog. No. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you take my spot, like trying to see these odd things. So very floral. Oops, a very floral nose coming out there.
Yeah, and even though we are at the tail end of this bag,
The leaves.
the leaves are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice and big. Still really green. Looks like they've been fermented, but only slightly. Yeah, it's got a really. I would consider this kind of like a warming tea. I think this is really tasty. Getting good energy off of it too, actually. And yeah, I think the Huigan is definitely there. Or if not that, what the returning flavor itself ends up being sweet, but the returning flavor is strong, and you're gonna walk away from a tea like this, having it.
Yeah, you're
in
gonna
your
walk
mouth.
away and be like, I'm a little bit thirsty. I feel like sort of my cheeks might be a little bit flushed. So it just kind of shows the potency of the tea, as opposed to something that we just drank last week, for instance, like the white tea. It's gonna have a lot less of that lingeringness in it.
Yeah. I'm just really enjoying the sweetness of this. Yeah. Pu'erh has this unique sweetness that I don't know how I would describe it.
Would you say it's that same sweetness as in young raw pu'erh and older raw pu'erh, or they're kind of like present and sort of like?
I think they're different. I really do think they're different. We've drank at a lot of younger raws on the show, and not a lot of, but plenty. And they have a very familiar light sweetness to them. And some of the really good ones we've had really don't have that like grungy basement intensity to it that sometimes can turn off folks from raw. So
For sure.
yeah, this is really nice.
And I mean, some other people will do is they'll also brew stuff like this at lower temperatures, and it'll probably come out closer to kind of like that white tea or green tea in that case. But we brew it for maximal potency.
And I don't think you need to worry about with this tea. I don't think you need to worry about messing it up too much. I think for new tea drinkers, raw tea drinkers, you do want to have a good solid bit of food in your stomach.
Definitely.
And that'll help with the intensity of the tea itself. But this is really tasty. I'd recommend you guys check this out. Go ahead. The cool thing about Scott and a lot of these tea vendors is that they're working really hard to make it accessible for folks like you guys out there and folks like us to try a bunch of these teas.
Yep.
And so it can be a huge pain in the butt to get a huge order of samples from China and have to wait for 3 months to drink your tea, as we all, I'm sure, have experienced some form or another.
Anyone that's ordered from Scott.
Yeah.
And is too cheap to pay for the
Expedited shipping.
yeah.
But nevertheless, this is just a wonderful, accessible tea, and go ahead and get. The cool thing about the sites is that you can get a cheap 2014 raw Pu'erh
For
and really compare it.
yeah.
And really compare the flavor differences to a higher end one, and see how they change. So
yeah, totally.
those are really, and I'm still I'm sitting on this steeping here, but I'm still just tasting it. So loving it.
Cool. So where can someone find out more about tea, Denny?
Check us out on TeaDB.org. Subscribe, hit that red button there. Join our fellow TeaDBers.
Unless that red button says unsubscribe, then don't touch that.
Don't touch it.
Don't go anywhere close. Word.
Yeah.
Tell that to your mom too.
Yeah, get your mom to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's really important for us to grow. But in all seriousness, TeaDB.org is really a great resource for you folks to check out. We don't have any commercial interest in any of this. We're just two dudes drinking a lot of tea and talking about it. So, and we do get to interview some really great folks and expose some of those folks to the community as well. So, subscribe, tune in, and until next time, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.